The Juggler of Notre Dame. There's a number of versions of this story. This is a lovely one, as told by Ruth Sawyer in her book called The Way of the Storyteller. Here's an old story told by French mothers to their children for many centuries. It is as old as the marketplace at Cluny, old as the abbey and the figure of Our Lady over the doorway. She has been listening to the feet of all who pass these hundreds of years. It is the month of Marie. May, you call it. It is market day. Look, you can see the square before the abbey filled with children, with lads and maidens sweethearting, with farmers selling their wares. You can hear them calling from here, from there, leeks, turnips, good white cabbages, prunes from Tours, good cheese, cream cheese, new beets, strawberries, fine early strawberries. Who will buy? Who will buy? One of the monks of the abbey passes, chanting his call to all sinners. Come, come, pardons for all at the central altar. Suddenly the children begin to shout and to point. Look who is coming, a juggler, a juggler. Everybody takes up the shouting. A fat farmer shouts, Mon Dieu, may he be a good juggler. For everybody knows no market day is properly gay without a juggler, his tricks, his songs. Look with the children, and you will see him coming down the road. He is a little one, a boy still. He is 12 years, perhaps. His stockings are in shreds, his doublet in tatters. Famine shows in his cheeks. His body looks as if the wind could blow straight through it, as it blows through a young pear tree in winter-time. For many nights now he has had nowhere to sleep but under the hedge, along the road. He has walked far and eaten nothing. He holds fast his bag of tricks. It takes all his courage to laugh boldly at the crowd and shout, Hola! Behold, you see me, Jean, king of the jugglers. How the crowd laughs, how it mocks. Oh, a pretty king, a king of tatters and starvation. Well, what can you do, Jean, king of the jugglers? Look again, and you will see how carefully he has to balance himself against the stone bench facing the abbey. It is the only way he can persuade his legs to hold him up. Mark how he pretends not to hear their mocking. He has learned a great deal in his few years. Always to be gay, always to have a laugh waiting, always to treat a crowd as if it were his own good brother. What can I not do? Tricks, marvelous, ballads, 5 new ones, and for dancing. But first, good my friends, a penny from my bowl. It brings luck to all who give Jean a penny, and you will see I will make music with them if there are enough. The people hold back. 2 children toss their pennies into the bowl, but the fat farmer cries, First, let us see what he can do. He may not be worthy of a penny. A face he makes at those 2 pennies, that juggler. Then carefully he takes from his bag the golden balls. That is a trick all jugglers know, to keep 6 balls in the air. He tosses them 1, 2, 3. He never gets beyond the 4th before he spills them. The crowd laughs. The fat farmer jeers. I could toss cabbages better than that. He tries the hoops, tossing them, twirling them, catching them on the stick. But his arms, they ache. They are as weak as his legs. And for the moment, he allows himself to be very solemn. Your pardons, I am clumsy today. It is the empty stomach which travels always with me. Look, good sirs, watch but a moment. I will take a fresh brown egg out of anyone's hat. But this is an old trick, not funny. The crowd starts to break, each to go about his own business. Hola, hola, the king of the jugglers shouts. I will sing for you. Name any song, I will sing it. The fat farmer calls. Sing us a drinking song, something gay and very wicked. Jean looks across the square to the doorway of the abbey, where stands the figure of Our Lady. The crowd is shouting again, and no one hears him address her. Holy Mother, forgive me, and I beg you to close your ears, for I'm about to sing a song that's not proper for you to hear. Today, the stomach is master. It will not go another day without being filled. He makes a slight reverence and bursts into the maddest, the lustiest drinking song sung in all of France 300 years ago. And who is coming now? Look down the road, and you will see the prior of the abbey coming back from visiting the sick. He arrives at the square to hear Jean singing his song. And mon Dieu, he is a very pious prior. He scatters the crowd and lays a tight hand over Jean's mouth. Sacrileges, blasphemies. You dare profane our abbey and our lady. Apprentice of the devil, be gone. These are terrible words. At them the very small juggler's knees begin to knock together, to bend. And he thinks it would be well to smile. But what a smile, one to tear the heart out of a stone. I asked pardons of the Holy Mother before I began. As for the devil, tell me, Holy Father, how can I be his apprentice when I have never seen him? Look again, down the road. You will see the good Brother Boniface riding in on his small gray donkey. He is the cook of all the brothers. He has been out in the countryside gathering food for the feast day of Sainte Marie. The baskets on his donkey are filled with fruit, with vegetables. He speaks to the prior. Father, here are lilacs, lilies, sweet violets for the altar of Our Lady. Here are onions, white as pearls, leeks, and basil for savory, cheeses, cabbages. And look you, 2 fine, fat capons. The better the brothers feast, the better they can pray, eh, Father? As he holds up one good thing after another, it is too much for Jean, that starved king of the jugglers. His knees drop wholly from under him, and he pitches forward, fainting, almost beneath the doorway of the abbey. The prior's tongue clicks to his cheek in sounds of compassion. He kneels beside the little ragged one. Then, bewildered for a prior, he looks up into the gentle face of Brother Boniface. I think I was mistaken. There is here less of the devil and more of starvation. Come, brother, let us take him in. We have found before that one of the pathways to the soul leads through the stomach. And as Jean opens his eyes, come, child, come to table. To table. Jean repeats it in a kind of holy ecstasy. He is lifted to the donkey's back in place of Brother Boniface, and together the three enter the courtyard of the abbey, the king of the jugglers sobbing against the white cassock of the cook brother. So, that is the way a juggler came to the Abbey of Cluny 300 years ago. Jean hid his tattered clothes and the bag of tricks in the hollow of the old tree in the square. He put on the brown robe of the novitiate and became helper in the kitchen to Brother Boniface. That poor, travel-worn, starved little boy and that ignorant, vagrant soul together found sanctuary in the old monastery. All about him was beauty and consecration. All day there was beauty to touch, to see, to hear. The monks chanting the Magnificat, the musician brother playing through his new mass on the organ, candles, tall candles, always burning in the chapel before the Virgin, who looked across the light to the kneeling brothers, her sad, lovely face, so filled with compassion. Soon, very soon, Jean forgot the world outside with its noisy, jeering crowds, the long, lonely roads, the barking, snapping dogs at his heels, the cold dark of the nights hidden under a hedge or some cock of hay. He became happy. Such a bounding joy filled his small body as nearly to split it asunder, so tremendous was it. He had only one disturbing thought, and this he shared with Brother Boniface one day as they were preparing dinner. All day I watch the brotherhood busy, doing things for the glorification of Our Lady. The painter brother is making a new Holy Family, very beautiful. The carving brother is making a new font for the holy water. The singing brother is composing a new Gloria for Our Lady's Day. But me, what can I do for the glorification of Our Lady? Nothing. The cook laughed and held up the big cabbage he was slicing. Look, my little one, what do I do for the glorification of Our Lady? I make fine this cabbage. I pare these carrots, so. I take these pearls of onions and quarter them, all to put in the pot of broth to fill the stomachs of the brothers. We cannot all serve in ways of beauty, but we can serve humbly and lovingly with our hands and our hearts. And I think that in the eyes of Our Lady all service is acceptable. The painting of the Holy Family by Brother Joseph, the making of the pot of broth by Brother Boniface. He threw his head far back and laughed, filling the kitchen with merriment. Then he laid down knife and cabbage and put his hands on the small, narrow shoulders of the juggler novitiate. Mon Dieu, what is the use of my making good broth if it puts no flesh on your bones? You are nothing but a fledgling, skin and eyes. Some day you will blow away like a feather. Poof, you will be gone. Then who will help me glorify Our Lady in the kitchen with the beautiful vegetables? But the disturbing thought grew apace until it cloaked heavily the happiness. Jean took the disturbance to the Holy Mother herself. Kneeling before her in the chapel, he spoke slowly, that no word might be lost. How sad you always look, Holy Mother. Is it because of what you are always thinking? You never forget your son who died upon the cross? I have a great wish to make you smile. That would be something, to have Jean make you smile. This thought, with the disturbing one, dwelt with him many days. He took it to bed with him after Compline. He awoke with it in the morning and carried it along with his beads to matins. It was at daybreak that the inspiration came to him, that way in which he could truly serve Our Lady. He waited until Mass had been said and each brother gone to his appointed task, the chapel deserted. Hurrying secretly to the old tree in the square, he pulled out his bag of tricks, his juggler's clothes. In a dim corner of the chapel, he changed. Capping his head with the conical cap and long feather, he skipped down the nave and stood making deep reverences before Our Lady. Holy Mother, adored Virgin, here I stand, Jean, a poor juggler. He has made other mothers, sadder mothers than you, to smile. See, he falls at your feet and begs the honor of doing for you his tricks. He will do all things for you, of the best. Voila. First, the golden balls. Jean takes them out and keeps the 6 in the air, each one aloft, catching the light of all the candles. Look, they are magnificent. Now for the hoops. He does them all, every trick he has ever learned. And how gloriously he performs. Now the drum. He is marching with it, beating time, singing an old French marching song. Tra-la-la, la-la-la, tra-la-la, la-la-la. That is what he is singing when the musician brother returns to the chapel to play over a part of his mass. For a moment he stands transfixed beside the organ, a novice, doing desecration in front of the altar. It is unthinkable. It is horrible. He finds movement at last and hurries out to summon the prior, the whole brotherhood. Like white wraiths, they come into the chapel without sound. And there is Jean, once a juggler, still marching, still beating his drum, still singing bravely his tra-la-la, la-la-la. Mutterings grow. It is like the gathering of a black, angry storm. Words are spoken under bitter breath. Sacrilege, a limb of Satan, cast him forth. The prior raises his hand to curse. to fling the anathema upon the boy. It is Brother Boniface who catches the prior's sleeve and points. Be not rash, father. Look, it is the Virgin herself who gives sanctuary. The drum beats, boom, boom, boom. Jean sings, tra-la-la, la-la-la. And Our Lady? Watch her, even as the Brotherhood is watching her. Slowly, very slowly, she is beginning to smile. Jean is looking up at her face. He laughs aloud with his great happiness. He casts away his drum and kneels before the altar, crying out, "See, see, she smiles at last. I have brought happiness this day to Our Lady." It is no longer a figure there who smiles. It is the living Mother of Jesus. She leans far down and gathers that small king of the jugglers into her arms and cradles him. He who has never known cradling knows a mother's arms at last, the close, everlasting blessing they give. A great light fills the chapel. A chorus unseen of heavenly music fills the spaces. The monks kneel in awe and silence. Only Brother Boniface speaks. It is a miracle. Our eyes have looked upon it. From that day on, so the old story runs, Our Lady of Cluny has always smiled. The Juggler of Notre Dame.